What's up, y'all? It's the Kid 4 with Fabian BigBossFabo. I'm back with a video for the channel, man, and I'm actually doing a reaction to Brandon Johnson win Chicago mayoral election. And why does the Chicago mayoral election even matter, man? We're going to take some time to look through some statistics, to talk about some topics. Shouldn't be too long of a video, man. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're interested in the channel and the content, man, check out the playlist page to see all the different reactions and content I naturally upload on this channel. Just support a young entrepreneur, man. Road to 1 million. Peace, love, prosperity to everybody tuning in, tapping in. So we're going to go ahead and hop into this video from ABC 7 Chicago, and then obviously give a quick rundown about some things regarding the mayoral election, man. So before we even hop into the video, man, Brandon Johnson defeated Paul Vallas in the runoff election for mayor of Chicago, Illinois, April 4th, 2023. Johnson received 51.4% of the votes. Vallas received 48.6%. They advanced from a field of 9 candidates, a February 28th general election. So basically, we're going to try to go into some additional details.
Valenterel, Brandon Johnson is waking up as the mayor-elect of Chicago this morning. He will be here at 7:45 at the Chinatown Red Line stop, as you mentioned, to thank voters. Now, Chicago has spoken. Johnson, a county commissioner and former Chicago public school teacher, now becomes the next mayor of Chicago, the 57th mayor of Chicago, that is. The 47-year-old was an organizer for the Chicago Teachers Union, which endorsed him. The CTU celebrating his victory this morning. He succeeds Mayor Lightfoot, who has congratulated the progressive Democrat. Johnson inheriting a divided city grappling with crime and public safety issues that were central in this election.
Now let's talk about that, right? So what does it even mean to be the mayor? What's that even entail? What's that hold? The mayor is the chief executive officer of the city. In this role, he's responsible for general welfare of the city, taking care of the city, due diligence. You know, people like to relate being the mayor as, relating being the mayor as a relation of what the president is to the country is what the mayor is to the city. Essentially, you can try to take that approach, but taking on policy making roles by recommending policies to council, breaking the votes, vetoing legislation. Mayor also fulfills executive role by seeing laws are enforced, city officers, employees properly do their jobs. So a lot of pull, a lot of weight when it comes to the duties of the mayor, a lot of say so. Definitely influential and can have a huge impact on cities that, you mayor over, or cities that an individual mayor. So it's a big impact specific to Chicago, man. We know about Chicago and the violence there, and the impact to the violence of the city and the inner city communities. Just a lot of change, and I want to say rebranding is like a permanent term in terms of what they've been trying to fully do with Chicago for the longest periods of time. A lot of things going on. So with that being said, hopefully, Brandon Johnson can pretty much pave the way for that.
Tonight is the beginning of a Chicago that truly invests in all of its people. Now, you've heard me say this before, Chicago. Well, you're going to keep hearing it, because the heart of this movement has always been about investing in people. I'll be honest, this is personal for me. Investing in people is at the heart of this campaign, because I've seen what disinvestment looks like.
Meanwhile, fellow Democrat Paul Vallas accepting defeat last night in front of a stunned group of supporters. The 69-year-old former CPS CEO and former city budget director, who had a law and order message and called for more police officers, gave his concessions.
We got CEOs, prior CEOs running for, candidacy with them, politics. You know what I mean? That's inspiring in its own. We've seen, I want to believe that Donald Trump is the first of what we're seeing from a politician's perspective that don't come from a natural politics background. And that's becoming very common nowadays, and I think that's the first push. If you got a strong team, you're able to, campaign properly, win honest votes, what's the issue? And you do have a solid head on your shoulders in terms of where you're trying to lead the city or the country, just depending on presidential candidacy, being a mayor. That's all that should really matter. So with that being said, just at a glance, Chicago at a glance, third largest city in the U.S., right? Population of nearly 3 million people, home to 50 wards, 77 community areas, very intricate in terms of the city. You know what I mean? People try to relate it to a larger city like in New York, but I think they're two different ball games in their own. But yeah, the intricacy of the city is very, inner city ish, very a big building ish, very industrial in terms of things like that. So I think it's a big task. It's a definitely, I don't even want to use the word big, maybe a very responsible task to be dubbed mayor of Chicago and, kind of put things into play that'll help advance the city.
Speech urging people to come together.
The only pathway forward in our great city is together. Whether it's quality schools, affordable or equitable economic development, the solutions we adopt and implement must work for all Chicagoans.
Back here live, Brandon Johnson takes office next month. He'll be sworn in on May 15th.
Watch break.
May 15th, huh, man? So yeah, shout out to Brandon Johnson winning that fair and square. All the best, due diligence, dutifulness in terms of, best foot forward in the plans and the execution of building a better Chicago. And I like to tap into news and information like this. Never was a big politics type of dude prior, but just going into information like this, I think it's still a chain reaction. That's the best way I could put it in terms of understanding and taking time to dive into details about other cities. Because, other cities make up this country. You know what I mean? Chicago especially being as impactful and as big of a city as it is, culturally diverse, a melting pot, things of that nature. You want to understand things that are going on in your neighbors or your neighboring places. Not to say Chicago's our neighbor, but we're all U.S. We're all USA in that sense. What's the whole saying in the terminology when it comes to a broken link affects the whole chain. So hopefully, things have kind of been put in order to help Chicago, man. I think Chicago's a suffering city, believe it or not, maybe regardless of what people want to say, just in terms of kind of the ethic, the morality, the things of the inner city culture and just things going on there, very heartbreaking. You know what I mean? But not to say it's not a beautiful or great place to be, and that's why it's worth cherishing. So that being said, let me know y'all's thoughts on this one in the comment section below, man. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Fort Worth Fabian. Road to a million subscribers, man. This is Brandon Johnson wins Chicago mayoral election. If you're new to the channel, go to the playlist page to get familiar with all different forms of content I do upload on this channel. Peace, love, prosperity, everybody rocking with the channel. We'll catch you guys in the next video. If you have additional recommendations, please go ahead and comment down below. We got